I do just want to thank Jake for being on the podcast again. Patreon.com/mostvaluablepodcast is where you can become a patron and be like Jake and come on to the podcast every single month, talk about the topic you want to talk about, and discuss it with us here on the podcast. But let's move now into our favorite weekly segment, Wet Boys. We're talking about the dampest of dudes, the soggiest of shooters, the moistest of men. These are the guys that popped off over the past week, had historic performances, just continued to be themselves at a ridiculous pace, a la James Harden, or just performed incredibly over the past week. And this is where we give them love. We do have a Wet Boy counter. Not to spoil anything right now, James Harden is in the lead with 4. We'll see how that shapes up after today. But Ricky, give us your Wet Boy of the week.
Well, my Wet Boy is a guy who... I don't think it was last week. I think it was 2 weeks ago. On the podcast, we decided to, I'm not going to say we because not all of us did, but like there was some shit talking going on about this guy, and deservedly so. Hadn't been showing up. Has not been showing up this year. He finally got his 3 points. Stella finally got her groove back, guys. Klay Thompson, my Wet Boy this week, went off. I don't even care that you see the rebounds and the steal numbers are lower. 31 points. He had 40 points in a game on only 4 dribbles. Wet Boy for the week.
I mean, I don't want to discount his efforts, but like, was the Bulls.
Well, that one, hold on. I will give now to back up Ricky here.
Yeah.
In that game, he only scored 30.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he scored 13 more in the 43 one.
It's true.
But I was going to bring up the fact that he was playing at one point Bobby Portis, Shaq Harrison, Antonio Blakeney, Hutchison, and then I think the other one was...
You only play the guys that are in front of you.
Felicio.
Like, you can't choose who you play.
I know.
Also, that was like probably the worst lineup I've seen all year.
We've discounted Giannis's efforts because, like,
he played the Knicks.
He played the Knicks and the Bulls that week. Congrats on your free ridiculous numbers.
Yeah,
but no, Clay was amazing. No discount.
And I think, I don't know if it was this week or if it was a different week, but I used it for the thumbnail where he hits a 3 and then looks down to his right hand and says, I missed you. I think that was a week before, but I still used it for the thumbnail anyways because I found a good picture of it. But shout out to Klay Thompson. He's on I have a different fantasy league. I've been cheating on you guys. My work, one of his guys dropped out. So I'm now in a new fantasy league, and I was given a team, and on the team is Klay Thompson. So I'm glad he's finally Wet Boy worthy because I need some help.
The Brandon Swanson treatment of when we had, way back when we were in college, we had the same situation. Guy dropped out. Hey, we need someone. Oh, this new guy that we met, Brandon Swanson, joined the league and took a team from last to the playoffs.
Little did we know.
Within like half a season.
Dave, since you're greater than Brandon Swanson, give us your Wet Boy.
That I am greater than Brandon Swanson. Thank you for that comment. I appreciate
approved.
it. My Wet Boy of the week is Kawhi Leonard. Now, I know a lot of you are going to get a little bit upset for giving the part-time worker out here a Wet Boy, but he did go out there. He played 3 games out of 4. He won 3 games out, and the Raptors won all 3 of those games and the 4th game as well. He didn't play, but he put up 27-7 and 4 steals a game. He had He has had multiple monster games, and it's just one of those things where if you don't watch Kawhi play like this year, you sort of forget how good he was on like those Spurs teams in the past. And I just loved the intensity on defense. Like the Raptors are like one of the perfect fit teams for him, and I'm a little upset because I'm like, I hope he stays. It's one of those things where I wanted super team, but now watching him play, watching him work with Nick Nurse and that
You're like, I want
defense,
him to leave.
I want them to stay.
I kind of feel like he has the feeling of staying. Like, I just think there's something about it that it might be the right fit for him. Maybe he is really like intrigued by LA, and maybe he is really intrigued by playing with another star. But I mean, so far it's been working out great.
But him,
he has, but when
Pascal,
he has played, he's been performing great.
And like Serge Ibaka, Lowry, like they've been playing incredible together.
Yeah, and I just have that feeling like, Toronto's really adapted to him. Maybe he did just need to change the scenery. Maybe Toronto's been the right place for him. But so far, he's still been performing like an all-star.
He can take some games off, too.
Yeah, he did. Jake even slid into my DM saying he just remembered that Kawhi's only a 2-time all-star, which he found surprising. I don't know if you guys find that surprising at all. Like, thinking about it logically, since he was, he really came on the scene in 2014, had 2015, 2016,
and missed
2016,
an entire
2017,
season.
and then, missed last year in 2017, 2018. So, but still, just throwing out there, he'll probably be a 3rd-time All-Star this year. Now let's move into my Wet Boy. It is the Wonder Boy, Luka Doncic, 24 points per game, 8 total rebounds, 5 assists, 42% from the field, 32% from 3 over the past week. He has been phenomenal in the past couple of games, especially last night against the Minnesota Timberwolves too. After that game, Luka Doncic is now 13 of 20 and 4 of 7 from deep in the last 3 minutes of games when the score is within 3 points. The most clutch player in the league right now is a 19-year-old kid that everyone doubted because he looked like a 7-Eleven cashier. He still is pretty chubby too, because if you look at the thumbnail a little bit closer, like usually when we're like showcasing,
got a little baby fat to him still.
when we're showcasing these guys and like you see like them like celebrating, like their ripped defined muscles, and like Luka's arms look no bigger than mine, and they look no more defined than mine. And I don't work out, so but Luka definitely has more basketball skills than I'll ever have. And Luka now gets his second Wet Boy of the year, and then we have to do our shout out because it felt unfair not to pick this guy, but none of us wanted to pick him. But he's literally
do it 3 weeks in a row for myself.
He's now up to 34 points per game. The king of the Wet Boys right now. He is atop of the leaderboard at 5 Wet Boys this year. James Harden now averaging like 34 points per game, like I said. The past week, 39 points per game, 10 assists, 8 total rebounds, 42% from the field, 39% from 3, dropping Jamal Murray in their game against Denver. He's been nothing but flat out ridiculous. This is one of the best stretches I've seen, and one of the most impressive stretches I've seen in a player in a very long time. Probably up there with like one of Kobe's like great stretches.
That's exactly what it was. That's what I'm going for. It was just like when I'm watching him play, I've just never seen someone take over a game like this in the modern NBA since that it was like 2010, 11, like Kobe. It was just like the stretch of 40-point games where you're just like, all right, that's enough.
Yeah, I mean, this has just been every single week, back to back to back, and now I feel like if he keeps continuing this, we cannot give him Wet Boys. And I think we even talked about this last week. Like, I think the record to be Wet Boy of the year last year, it was 5 Wet Boys of LeBron James. Harden's already there. Well, and we're not even at the All-Star.
We're talking about our former MVP, our future MVP, our runner-up MVP the year prior. Like, the man's amazing. And I just want to give, like, I know this is a James Harden show, but can we just give Austin Rivers like a sliver of credit for like, hey, he kind of works over there. He's no longer a piece of shit.
Well, for me, I'm looking at it. I'm looking at the numbers on the Wet Boy counter. Every other Wet Boy besides James Harden today got their second Wet Boy.
Oh, nice.
Luka got their second. Kawhi got their second. Clay technically got his first, but the Warriors got a Wet Boy, so he got his second.
That's correct.
So stupid. It's the dumbest
So
thing
he
I've ever
jumped
heard.
to 2.
They deserved it. When Boogie gets his first, it'll be a second.
Mine was funny because it was when
Phoenix.
No, that doesn't count because he wasn't playing.
He was on the bench.
Mine was funny because it was Phoenix, and Phoenix was just a terrible team.
They were a terrible team. They are a terrible team.
Like Stephen Durant should have won. They have 2.
Yep.
It's ridiculous.
It works.
Also, just want to circle real quick back to Luka because why not? I want to throw this out there. I looked up because now he's at 26-5 on the season, averaging. Who are the other 4 players to average 6-5? Or sorry, I think it's 25-5 in their rookie season.
Isn't it like
I watched
Michael
too much
Jordan?
Reddit, so
You don't know it?
yeah.
No, I saw they showed it on ESPN. It's like Michael Jordan. I want to say Jason Kidd's in there, but it's not Steve Nash.
Nope.
Michael Jordan's all I got then.
Michael, Oscar, Reek, and LeBron James. And Luka is doing it the second most efficiently. Michael was doing it on 59 true shooting percentage. Luka did it on 56 true shooting percentage. Oscar did it on 55 true shooting percentage. Reek at 52% true shooting. And LeBron at a measly 48 true shooting, which is pretty damn bad.
But he was playing, and the other thing you have to mention is the usage and minutes per game. Luka, I think, is doing it with the least minutes per game.
I didn't look that up. Also, LeBron was not an All-Star that year, and it's looking like with the fan vote, Luka is going to be. But minutes per game, I don't have the per game. I just have the minutes played. So I'll have to find that. But yeah, and then, hold on. Well, you said minutes per game, then what was the other thing?
Minutes per game, and I think usage was the other stat. I'm not sure about the usage one.
Yeah, I don't have usage.
I know minutes per game was, though.
All right. Well, we'll have to figure that out and go back to it. But let's move into the fast break fantasy update. I was tripping over all the Fs there. Right now we are in 5th place, 89 points, 86 now looking at it. I hate the ESPN app because on the Clubhouse thing, on where it shows our team, it says we're at 89, and now it says we're on 86 of the standings. Anyways, we're in 5th place behind Super Hippo and Grantham, who are at 93 points. Technically, we're at 86. Big Ballers are in 2nd at 99. And our boy, Kyle Craig, Phila 076ers at 101. For field goals made, we are in 5th. Field goals percentage, we have dropped a pretty damn significant amount. We are all the way 5th from last. So what would that be? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
Math
9.
on podcasts. You can see it live.
We are then 10th in free throw percentage. 3-pointers made, we are 5th. 3-point percentage, we are 6th. Rebounds, we are leading the league in rebounds. So shout out.
I would hope so.
Andre Drummond.
Yeah.
Assists, we are third. Steals, we are second. Blocks, we are seventh. Points, we are sixth. So pretty decent. And I did make one move without you guys. Justin Howard has been ass since going over to Memphis.
Well,
so
I was just going to say, could we drop him? Because you mentioned how field goal percentage we've been poo-in. Well, he's at a 37.6 on the season.
Yeah, he's been dropped, and we picked up Derek White of the San Antonio Spurs.
Popping off pretty well.
Been mighty fine.
Yeah.
And we need some guard help too. So if you do have any suggestions on players we should be on the lookout for, pretty much anyone who's worth a damn is taken up. We will have Boogie returning on the 18th. It was announced, and he will be starting. So that will be fun. So we'll see what's going on. Roster percentage, at least just for the people who are not in the loop for our fantasy team. John Wall is the most roster player who is available at 81.9%. Obviously, he's out for the season. Batum is there, 65.9%. I saw our boy Bonani. I think Bonani. You brought up Jabari Parker, I think, in the last fantasy update.
Yeah, thankfully.
Just saying, should we add him? And he was like, why the hell would you have Jabari Parker on our team? He's not. He's a free agent, owned in 64.2% of leagues. Josh Jackson at 37.8%. Darren Collinson at 37.8%. Isaiah Thomas, 23%. Reek at 19%. D. Wade at 12.7%. Future All-Star, apparently. Dwayne Wade at 12.7%. And then Marcin Gortat at 11.9%.
He's getting in the All-Star game this year?
So far, I think he's second in fan voting for East guards.
Enough.
The All-Star voting for fans is just whack right now.
Fair enough.
Because Luka's in there, D Wade's in there. I'm pretty sure. Who else was up there? I have the release right now. LeBron and Giannis lead, and then Luka's second in front court. Paul George is third. Kevin Durant's fourth. AD is fifth. Steven Adams is 6 above Nikola Jokic. For guards, Steph is 1, D Rose is 2, James Harden is 3, Russ is 4, Klay Thompson's 5th. And then for the East, Giannis is 1 for the front court, Kawhi Leonard's 2nd, 3rd is Joel Embiid. I don't know why I'm throwing Y's on there. 4, Jason Tatum, 5, Jimmy Butler, 6, Blake Griffin, and then 7, good old Vince Carter. And then for the guards, we have Kyrie, D Wade, Kemba, Ben Simmons, Victor Oladipo, Kyle Lowry, and then Zach LaVine. And I also think maybe 8 is Jeremy Lin. I'm only seeing a thumbnail right now. Jeremy Lin is 8th.
I love it. I absolutely love the fan vote.
Bradley Beal's at 10th. So shout out Bradley 10th. Yeah, Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal has a million less votes than D Wade, which is just absolutely stupid. So,
I mean, respect for the history of the game, but like
Gordon Hayward's at 8. Above Pascal Siakam and Al Horford.
Yeah.
Like, just garbage.
Do we know the math?
Draymond Green's at 10, just below Draymond. I'm sorry, DeMarcus is at 10.
Yeah,
just below Draymond and Kyle Kuzma.
Do we know the math for that? Like, are these votes, is it just a fan vote?
50% fan vote, 25% coach vote, 25% player vote.
See, I hate that. And the reason why I say that is I rather see it go closer to what football is, because football's the same thing. Fan, player, coaches, but it's a third. So everything is equal, not one. One of the three doesn't have more power than the other.
But also, if your idea of, All-Star games do not matter. They haven't been important in years. So if you're going to be, if you're going to be a fan, the NBA trying to get fans involved in watching this, content, how are you going to be able to get them? Putting the players in that they want to see in there,
and that's it.
Like Luka, like D Wade, like VC.
It's a double-edged sword of obviously that's what you're going with, but then don't be for the ones that are. I would throw out there and say that they hate that how Luka's leading, D Wade's leading and he shouldn't be up here. Then they can't cater to both. What do you want? Do you want it to be a fun game where the fans get what they want, or do you want it to be a game where the right people get in and it might not be who the fans want?
Yeah, so
can't have both.
Vince Carter will be 42 at the time of the game if he gets in.
Jesus Christ. And Luka will be, 19?
He'll still be
So that might
19.
be the biggest discrepancy between All-Stars ever if they both would get rostered. I don't think so because it's only this is for the starters.
Yeah.
So it's only obviously top 3 for front court and then top 2 guards. So unless Vince Carter has a massive push in the later half, he probably won't be an all-star. Also, final wrap-up for Wet Boys. Shout out Nick Collinson. He's getting his jersey retired. Number 4, Mr. Thunder, on March 20th by OKC. He was a one-time Wet Boy. When he retired, he got the shout-out. One of the probably the worst Wet Boy of all time so far. I would love to see us try to beat it.
I don't know. Is it better than the Phoenix Suns last year? I think that the Phoenix Suns might
Phoenix
be a
Suns
worse
were
Wet
actually,
Boy.
no, they were performing well. I mean, we gave it to a fucking college player, so definitely the Suns are above Darius Lyle.
Yeah.
And I think
I don't know,
that
man. He had a
Nick,
great performance.
well, that's why I think Nick Collinson, who
seed.
just got it because he retired, is gonna probably go down as the worst Wet Boy.
And the funny
in
thing
history.
about Luka, if Luka was born 10 days earlier, he would turn 20 before the All-Star game. So his birthday
So
is
he's
10
still
days
19?
later.
So he's
yeah.
still gonna be 19. All right.
Wonderful.
Final thing too, I just wanted to give. I was going to give a Wet Boy to Jim Boylan because he's been extended, even getting a pay raise next year, and it's 1.6 guaranteed.
Well, we knew
next
he was
year.
coming back next year.
Well, $1.6 million
Yeah,
guaranteed
well,
for Jim Boylan.
The Bulls, we make bad
Why do we
decisions.
give him guaranteed
Yay,
money?
Because we're stupid. Like,
Shut-
that's just what it is.
Shout out to the human thumb, Jim Boylan.
What do we do? Remember? What do we do with Garpax? I'm going to let you say
Oh,
it.
shoot him to the moon. Shoot him to the moon.
Now, is it shoot him or send him?
It's shoot him to the
Okay.
moon.
I thought it was send
shoot him
Okay.
to the moon.
That's what we're going to do.